I'm still thinking about the Sublime, and I feel I should make some at least gestures towards an account of why the Sublime is the way it is. Just to recap what the Sublime is, or at least the way I'm using the term, it's the feelings you get when you're in front of something that's very big. And I'm doing the cartoon version because I understand cartoons better than I do more complex things. The feeling you get when you stand in front of something very big, the Grand Canyon, storm at sea, cosmos, that kind of a thing. And it renders you gobsmacked. You know, you feel kind of slightly reverent, you feel awestruck, you feel slightly terrified, you feel overwhelmed with something that is beyond beauty. It's that kind of, you may be paralysed by that, might grow weak in the presence of beauty and the sublime. It's all those kind of things. So, what's all that about then? I'm not saying it has any value. It might. I'm not saying it doesn't have any value either. But I'm saying it's a feeling that you get. And it can be very enjoyable and very addictive. But what's it for? Where did it come from? I'll have to just use an evolutionary speculative account, a bit of Procrustean, just so storytelling about evolution. I mean, certainly it does. There's certain things that we do in the presence of things that are big and dangerous. There's certain things that all animals do in the presence of things that are big and dangerous. Whether that be a train coming on, whether it be a big and dangerous train, even a virgin one like that. Sublime virgin. We should, yeah, sometimes we, yeah. I mean, it would kind of make sense to be scared of things that are big and scared of things that can hurt you, scared of things that could render you impotent or powerless. That makes sense. Whether that be a big person or whether it be a cliff you could fall off, whether it be a sea that could drown you, whether it be a hole that could swallow you up that's just massive. And that makes kind of sense. An appropriate response. What would an appropriate response be? I guess an appropriate response would be like a freeze response. I mean, this is really speculative and it doesn't feel right to me either, but I'll keep going. You know, like a bunny in the headlights feeling. You know, if you're driving down a country lane at night, sometimes there'll be a rabbit or a deer even that catch in their headlights. And instead of suddenly off to one side like a sensible rabbit would, they just freeze, you know? They just freeze. And it's a completely automatic response. You know, the nervous system has kicked in and just done what comes naturally in the presence of something large and brightly lit and intimidating. And they just kind of sit there crouched in, not exactly in worshipful awe, but in a posture of immobility and fear and weakness. And thoughtlessness. I mean, I'm sure rabbits are fairly thoughtless the best of times, but yeah, you know, it's that kind of cessation of thought, cessation of action, and yeah, I don't know. There's something about that. That seems like the response that our ancestors and our relatives in the animal kingdom make in the presence of big, scary stuff. Maybe that's all it is. Maybe this feeling of the sublime is just our signified version of that. You know what I mean? Here we are freezing in the presence of the big stuff. But because we're humans, we're the signifying monkeys who give significance to all of this stuff. We attribute all kinds of meaning to that frozen moment in time and space. Go on, pups! So we credit it with value, perhaps. I don't know, maybe. That doesn't feel very convincing. I'll keep working on that. In the meantime, look at these swallows. I love it down here when the swallows are dipping over the canal. Of course, it's stopped now. I've got my bloody camera pointed in there. You see that? I think they're just picking off flies that are hovering near the surface.